state occasion. In the gate. And they're off in the Maker's Mark Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf. And no surprise as In Italian fires out and quickly takes command, hugging the rail and opening up a couple in the first few jumps. Fev Rover is up and on the pace, and here's State Occasion flashing sharp early speed too. Warm Heart secures a beautiful spot along the inside, right next to Lumiere Rock at this stage, and they're followed by With the Moonlight, Moira in between rivals, and Lindy is 3 deep. Win Maryland is on a tight hold on the outside of Inspiral, who moves up willingly along the inside. Inspiral picking up a couple of spots while tugging her way forward. At the back of the field, Didia and McCulloch. Moving into the first turn with In Italian, the boss has it by a length. State Occasion is racing in second. Fev Rover covers Warm Heart, who's down on the inside. They're a joint third. Lumiere Rock right together. With the Moonlight is inside of her. A little bit keen with those blue silks, 4.5 lengths off the lead. Then comes Moira racing in mid-pack. Inspiral is comfortable inside of her, 1.5 lengths clear of Lindy. Then it's Win Maryland, Didia second to last, and McCulloch continues at the back of the field. With less than a half mile to go, In Italian sailing along by a length. State Occasion has been second the whole way. Warm Heart saving ground inside Fev Rover. Those two have raced as a team throughout. Lumiere Rock, yellow colors, trying to move up now, has 4 lengths to come. Then it's With the Moonlight, followed by Moira. Inspiral awaiting some racing room. Blue Cap in between horses. Didia trying to launch a bit outside of her. They're at the top of the stretch. In Italian and State Occasion are head-to-head. Moira's trying to finish with some interest, and what a trip for Warm Heart, who bursts through, and Inspiral is finding her best stride, and it's a big stride. Inspiral erupting in the center of the course, and she will get up to beat Warm Heart right on the money. Vintage Frankie Dettori.
What a performance from Inspiral. 5 horses lining up with about 300 yards to go, and all of a sudden they feel the jet wash from this move by Inspiral to take the Maker's Mark Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf.
Couple of things straight away. What a terrific ride from Frankie Dettori. And secondly, the distance of 1.25 miles might be what she's always wanted. She's collared Warm Heart. Speed, I always prefer speed than stamina if you're thinking about dilemmas, stepping up in trip, stepping back in trip, and that's got her out of trouble, her brazen speed.
Her turn of foot. At the 8th pole, with 220 yards to run, she was 6th or 7th. And in 220 yards, she goes from 7th to 1st. She has got a blistering turn of foot. She was hooked up with Lindy. They were eyeball to eyeball. It was a sprint to the finish, and she just blew her away. When she crossed the wire, she opened up by 9. She was 9 lengths in front of the field, 50 yards past the wire. Very, very impressive performance. And this wasn't the original target, right, Rishi? She was meant to run Champions Weekend, ground too soft. This was the afterthought. She was supposed to go for the QE2 at Ascot on Champions Day, which was going to be in bottomless ground. So they skipped that. And Cheveley Park Stud, who won this race with Queen's Trust a few years ago, trained by Sir Michael Stout, the man on board that day, Frankie Dettori, back on board in their colors on Inspiral.
And these are 2 gentlemen. When you take a look at John Gosden, you take a look at Frankie Dettori, they have connections here to Santa Anita. Frankie Dettori talked about coming here essentially as a teenager before nobody knew who he was. He learned some great lessons. John Gosden was training out here before he went back to Europe and had such great success. And now here over this turf course, they have prepared and in this case ridden Inspiral so perfectly here. Again, I don't know if everyone can appreciate, look at how covered up she is, the fact that Frankie Dettori could get her out and unleash this devastating kick.
He's got the horse to do it, though. That's the difference. I mean, we've seen horses in that position. They get out and they don't show the punch to finish. And I tend to agree with Rishi. In fact, I do. I think she might be better at 1.25 miles than she is at a flat mile.
She had been entered for races over 1.25 miles. The Nassau Stakes, which you'll know at Goodwood, is quite a significant 1.25 mile race for fillies. And that was always on the radar for her. She never ever took the option. She never had the opportunity to actually do it on the course, but there was always an indication. And I mentioned this earlier in the week that Simon, you would know about it. When a horse races over a mile as a 2-year-old, it always leads you to believe that you'll step up in distance and that it wouldn't be a problem. To get a mile as a 2-year-old in Europe, always suggests that you're going to get further in time.
Our Three Chimneys cheers to the breeder goes to Cheveley Park Stud and His Majesty's Kingdom, the UK, a daughter of Frankel out of the Selkirk mare Starscope. It is Inspiral, with one of the best performances of the 2 days thus far here at the Breeders' Cup, taking the Maker's Mark Breeders' Cup filly and mare turf. And Europe goes first and second here, led by the 6 Inspiral at 5-2, and the 2 Warmheart finishing second at 4-1. Very good run by NYRA in here, but everyone was second best to what Inspiral just turned out here. And Frankie Dettori, knowing her so well with those comments ahead of time, I know we're not going to break well, but I just got to give her a chance to do this, and that chance came right here as we look overhead.
Another superb ride. I mean, first time round, she was a little keen after coming off the hill into the stretch for the first time. The pace slowed up. She was, well into the bridle with Frankie, but she relaxed. She came back to him, didn't become too aggressive, and had enough left for this explosive finish here late. Very impressive.
Betting public right on this one. Rishi Prasad right on this one. And John Gosden, he says he's very selective. This is not, hey, I'm going to come to the Breeders' Cup. It's the end of the year. Let's see what we can do. He points to this event. So whoever he brings over is always live. And Inspiral is really an indication he's got the right plan.
Obviously, he, as you pointed out already, Todd, he knows this place better than most. Earlier in the week, he stood outside the 3 boxes or the 3 stables that he actually started off his training career with here. I mean, it was quite extraordinary because he's got about 200 now in Newmarket, if not more. So if he chooses a couple to bring here to Sant or Anita, you know they're going to be almost ideal to do the job. Inspiral, the first one, must have to come later.
And you'd have to say, watching that performance, $7 was a gift. But for Rishi and Continental Europe, there might be more gifts to come on this card with some of the biggest turf races ahead. But when we move ahead here on the Breeders' Cup Player Show, we're moving back to the main track. Race number 5 will be the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, brought to you by PNC Bank, going 7 furlongs. Good Night Olive, the winner of this race last year, back to try and win again, but it'll be a deep field headed by the competition with Society, who's up on the board at 7-2. But Good Night Olive, last year's winner, opening up at even money.
Yeah, Good Night Olive, 6-5. Look, she regressed a little bit maybe in her last start behind Echo Zulu, but she's been given plenty of time. Chad Brown taking the same route here to the Breeders' Cup that he took last year, running the Ballerina, give her plenty of time. She comes back today. I think she'll run a huge race here this afternoon.
Race number 4 was the start of an all-turf pick 4. But race number 5, the PNC Bank Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, will be the start of an all-dirt pick 4. Receiving congratulations in the winner's circle here at Santa Anita, it is Inspiral, a star among stars over these 14 championship races. Let's watch this breathtaking performance once again in the Maker's Mark Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf.
As the official partner and timekeeper of the Breeders' Cup World Championships, Swiss watch brand Longines is proud to present the Longines Prize for Elegance. In keeping with the brand's motto, elegance is an attitude, the fashion contest awards the most elegant lady and gent. The official watch of the event is the Mini Dolce Vita. With its discreet profile, classic styling, and aesthetic variations that are at once timely and timeless, it is a masterpiece that exquisitely expresses in equal parts Longines quiet luxury and contemporary elegance. Qatar Racing are proud to be the official title partner of the $2 million Breeders' Cup Sprint for the 3rd year running, reinforcing their commitment to promote the best racing in the world to new and growing audiences. On behalf of Prevagen, we'd like to thank you for choosing to make memories with us today. Used by millions, Prevagen is an over-the-counter brain health supplement that focuses on improving certain aspects of cognitive function. Improve your memory with Prevagen. FanDuel is proud to be the official wagering partner of the Breeders' Cup and sponsor of the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Mile, presented by the PDJF. Watch racing year-round on FanDuel TV and wager on all the races with FanDuel Racing. Make every moment more with FanDuel.